I think it's going, guys. Welcome to the weekly daily refinement Q&A. I am really excited because I've never really done this format. So what I would like to do is I would like to just answer questions that people have. And I just want to do one topic because I think it's really important. And after that, all Q&As. Is there still no sound? I just want to double check. I think everyone can hear me. I'm on YouTube and I'm on whatnot. I just want people to... No sound? Really? Let's see. How about now? Sound? No sound? Online? No? That's weird. Okay. If there's no sound, I'm not going to do it on whatnot. We'll do it on just on YouTube. All right, that did not work. All right, but we are on YouTube. Okay, so I want to go over one topic, and then after that topic, we'll get into the Q&A. So the topic is, I was actually coaching somebody named Les on my YouTube channel. Okay, can you hear me now? Sorry, it's like my first day. I have not done a Q&A in this format at work before. So I'm pretty excited. I don't think I've ever done a Q&A at work. There's no pick over here. Okay, let's see if I can... there's no picture. Let's see this. Is that better? Okay. All right, let's get into it. So here's the topic. I was coaching this lady named Les, and we went to the Goodwill bins. And what happened was when I went there, we discovered that you could buy pallets at Goodwill at the one by my house. You could have always done it in San Francisco, but the one by my house, they had never done that before, right? So they decided that you could buy pallets. So when I went with Les, I'm like, I'm not going to tell anybody what you're doing. We're just going to pretend like we're going to the Goodwill bins like everybody else, but you're going to buy by the pallet because it's way more efficient. It's way cheaper. You buy a pallet for $40 to $60, and then you look through it. If you find 5 pieces that are $30, $40 and over, you make your money back. And it's pretty straightforward. Out of 400, 500 pieces, we can find enough pieces. Now, I discovered that, and I was like, okay, on YouTube, I couldn't really share that much of it because I didn't want to blow her up because people need literal instructions to resell. So anyway, I didn't say anything. I just sort of said she was shopping at the bins, but she really was buying these pallets and pulling out all these great items. Now, last Friday, this is huge news in my area. The Goodwill bins stopped selling by the pallet. That's insane. It's because they get 20 truckloads of clothing a day. 20 truckloads of donations a day. How could you possibly stop selling bulk? It's crazy to me. But apparently they either combined or they joined with Goodwill of Arizona. And so there's no more pallet shipping here. It's going to go all to Arizona. So whoever is in Arizona is going to get one of the richest areas in the world. Like if California was a country, we would be the 5th richest country. Like we make more money than like Italy or France, the whole country, right? So like that's going to Arizona and all the people here are getting nothing. It's really wild. So we'll see what happens in the next 6 months. If they actually discontinue it, it's going to be a super insane thing. So it's all the flea market vendors that I shopped at for the last 5 years. They're essentially out of business. So it's like, there's no way they can buy the volume one piece at a time on the tables and make it work. But let me know, guys, if you have any questions for resellers. I'm super jazzed. I'll be here for an hour. Right now, I'm just excited to be here. I'm super grateful for all the people who continue to listen to me, and I'm just psyched for the future of reselling. I feel like it's a really interesting situation right now. There's a lot of opportunities, and there's a lot of opportunities that go away. Each and every day, it's a moving target. Sales go up and down, and hopefully people have questions. But I can't believe that. It's like literally they sold truckloads and truckloads every day, and now they're not doing that anymore. So that's really wild. Um, the like buying at the Goodwill bins and then selling on Whatnot, eBay, Poshmark, that was the model that I recommended for everybody. And now they can't do that in my area. Dog walks the dog. They're not selling pallets at all, from my understanding. They're going to send all their donations to Arizona starting right now. So there's it stopped last Friday. So that's really insane. And I already know that, in my opinion, Arizona is one of the top states for reselling in general. How many people in the chat are from Arizona? It's a really, really good place to resell. There's a lot of places. Like Final Cut for Nordstrom is in Arizona. It's in Phoenix. So, Jamie, what's up? Jamie says, have I ever savored the thought of selling someone's abandoned past? I mean, I don't sell something and I'm getting part of their soul. I don't really look at it that way. I just think that that is one of the largest opportunities, is when people move on. You can't take anything with you. So people collect stuff for 80 years and then they pass, and then their family doesn't know what to do with it. And all of us have a job because of too much excess. If everybody was a minimalist, there would be no reselling community. One happy dog has been an eBay seller for 47 days. I love it. I love that you just started on eBay, and I have been suspended on eBay for 2.5 years, and I'm still helping somebody out there learn how to resell. I love it. Yeah, Whatnot was not working on sound, so I just moved to YouTube. I will figure out the logistics. This is my first time doing it live at work. Generally, I separated work, family, and reselling, but now on Wednesday afternoons, I want to do a Q&A. So if people have questions, I want to get into it. Killa was in AZ, but now in Arizona, but now they're in Vegas. I love it. Anna's saying she has 2 different eBay stores from the same address. Does eBay penalize her for having multiple stores? No, it doesn't. It would only penalize you if you have different zip codes shipping out for your stuff. Van's a saying. Or go ahead. You have a question, Steven?
Yeah, I got a question in regards to what you were saying about the pallets.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to the bins in Medford, Oregon this weekend.
Yep.
And was the $40 pallet, was it all clothing? Because I know they said some of them were mixed.
This is such a good question. Because Steven, this is such a good question. When I went to the bins, right, they did not have pallet pricing posted. Okay, they weren't advertising it. Like, you had to talk to the manager and see how they got rid of stuff when it didn't sell on the tables, right? And there was another area where they sold pallets, and it wasn't advertised. And some of the signs were only in Spanish. So I was like, yo, they're really targeting Hispanic folks that sell at the flea market, because it's not even advertised to the regular public, right? So we went there, and Les also speaks Spanish. So I'm like, this is perfect. This is a perfect situation where you can talk to the manager, you can get your stuff, and it starts going really good. But it's not super straightforward how you get pallets. Now, here's the part that's wild. I saw another reseller on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube Live show how they did it. Literally, go to the bins, talk to this person, ask for this pricing, because the $40 pricing was special pricing if you bought a certain number of pallets and on a certain day at a certain time. Normally, they were between 60 and 150, and they're all different categories. They even had pallets that were unsorted, everything. They even had pallets that were in the stores only. They had all different kinds of pallets, right? So a lady posted a TikTok, Instagram, everything, how to do it. A week later, they turned it off. It's gone. So I've always been kind of careful to not tell people literally how to do it. But I feel I don't know if that's become a trend, but I feel it's so damaging. Imagine wherever you're getting your stuff, someone tells you exactly how to do it. the people who really want to do it will figure it out. The
Yeah.
people who copy mess it up for everybody because they're like, hey, who here is selling $40 pallets? And the manager's like, shut up.
Yeah.
That's what it's
The
not
truth.
advertised like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
So it's funny. So I think somebody got fired and they're not doing it anymore. So I'm like, that is like crazy. So yeah, you want to be on the DL whenever you're setting up a new supplier. And you can let people kind of know how to do it, but not like literally here's their phone number and their name and bring $500 cash and put it in an envelope on the back porch. That's not how it works. Legacy
Okay.
Mindset says eBay UK removes seller fees. Do you think that the US market will as well? I I think so because ultimately the platform with the best stuff wins. And I think that eBay's kind of getting a reputation for just milking its customers that have items that never sell. And I think eventually they got to get rid of that reputation because like most platforms do not charge you to sell on their platform. eBay is just sort of like just making millions of dollars off of sellers that don't know what they're doing, and they post things that literally are on page 900, and you're never going to sell your item if you're on page 900. And they don't even tell you how to make a good listing. Does anybody here feel like eBay is super vague? They are very vague. Okay, and it's because I thought like maybe they don't care if you sell your item or not. They make money in either way. But now, right, if eBay starts making it free, then they're gonna go ham on the seller improvement, and they're gonna make people get better because it's not when I'm working right now. I kind of work for Whatnot. They want progress. They're like, why are you not improving from last month? What's wrong? eBay never asked me that, right? They're not pushing sellers to grow. They're just like, list as many items as you want. Who cares if they don't sell? And I think if they get rid of eBay fees, it's going to make the platform way better for customers because a lot of people list a lot of items, and like it helps the good sellers list more items. And the people who don't know what they're doing, I don't know. I think it's maybe the same situation for them. But if you know what you're doing and there's no eBay fees, you can really, really, really grow. And on eBay, 20% or less of the sellers get 80 or 90% of the sales. So Vince says, do you think the same problem would happen if the information was behind a paywall? No, because most people, it's not the people who pay money that ruin it for everybody. It's the people who get free information on TikTok and they go there asking, where do I get PlayStations for $1? And they're like, PlayStations for $1? How did that happen? They trace it back and they find out Orlando, the manager, sold a PlayStation to somebody for $1 and he got an envelope in his pocket. I mean, that's sort of how it happens. And like, you don't even need to do that. You just go in and pay the normal price for good goods. It's like all this shenanigans that gets people fired. But like, if you post on TikTok exactly, literally how to do it, I just don't see it. I've never seen that before. In my 7 years of doing this, I've never shown somebody on TikTok show you what day to go, what time, and who to talk to. That was like completely wild to me. But for free. For free. They didn't even charge for that. So, and I was like, hey, the lady that is working for me is going to this spot and she's being pretty successful. If you were really serious, you would figure it out. Right? I just blows my mind. Jody says, in the UK, we have Vinted, which is totally free, but it is for private sellers. I think eBay UK may have lost sales to Vinted. I've heard that. Vinted does really well in the UK. And if you go there, you can get really, really good deals. So I do believe that the better sellers benefit when there's no fees or lower fees. Because like I've had lower fees on eBay and I've had lower fees on Whatnot. It helps a lot. And you pay less fees. You can get way more items up. So if you're not selling anything, it doesn't help that much. But if you're selling a lot of stuff, it's literally thousands of dollars in fees. So makes a big difference. Legacy says, I think Whatnot is a game changer in hurting eBay profits. I don't know, man. eBay is the go-to for, I sell items for like half of what they sell for on eBay. And I am doing way more volume, but I feel like I would love to also have an eBay store. I think eBay's profits should not be hurting. Maybe they're hurting because I don't know. I feel like they own the market. They're the number one player in the used goods market. Um, I don't feel like they're really hurting that much. Maybe they're annoyed by other companies, but like they still do 80% of the sales for pre-owned. Um, I know, Killa. It's like I don't know if I want my eBay store back, but I do know how I want to operate my eBay store. Like the thing that I'm kind of like reseller famous for having my shelving system and boxes and everything in plastic bags and numbered. And a lot of my inventory system now is just raw. I call it raw dog. It's not packaged. It's just in an area, right? And I've taken some notes from previous resellers as far as like sorting by color, sorting by size, sorting by shape. And you know what? I can find it. So it's like I did have a perfect inventory system that was sequential, right? But if you're selling a lot of similar items, like one of my big categories is handbags. I have yellow, pink, green, blue. It's not confusing. I sell healthcare now, shampoo, conditioner, exfoliator, cleansers in different places. It's not confusing. I can literally pick orders without an inventory system. So it's so convenient not having to like dig through boxes to find items that if I did eBay again, I might raw dog it again. I might just have it all out in by category. And because when you have a small store, 1,000 items, you don't need a complicated inventory system for 1,000 items. And I don't know if I would want a bigger store because it's so competitive now. Competing against people with 10, 12, 15,000 item stores. It's not even hard to get a 10,000 item store now. And hard to compete with someone with that much selection. So I probably would have a small store, but I would 100% take my eBay store back if I got it back again. I don't know how much effort I want to put into getting it back. That's really one of the big concerns is like, Teresa Cox is a big advocate for eBay sellers, and she was asking eBay corporate, what happens if people get suspended? They're just suspended forever. There's no like redemption program. There's no, because it's literally like so many people are suspended, right? For various reasons. So I don't know. Also, I could open an eBay account under my wife's name or my brother or my uncle, but I haven't done that, right? I'm just kind of hoping that one day I just get my eBay account back. And then there's always the question if Whatnot gets acquired by eBay, I don't think that's going to happen. But would my suspension carry over and get me suspended on Whatnot? I don't know. If that happens, I might actually create an LLC and continue the Whatnot operation so that all the people working for me don't lose their job. But I don't know. In Germany, private seller fees have been 0 since 01. I like that. I think it really helps when it helps the better sellers when there's lower fees. It is interesting how that works. Like the people who need it, they're not selling anything anyway, so it doesn't have a huge impact on them. They're either paying like $20 a month in seller fees or 0, but they're not getting any more sales. But the people who know how to turn $20 into $50, they're booming. Breeze is asking why I don't have an eBay store anymore. I was suspended about 2.5 years ago for not having adequate invoicing. That was the reason. They don't do the market for eBay stocks right now because a lot of researchers don't know the art of actually selling and holding gross. Well, okay. Kind of the problem with holding gross is that is the commodity part. Like a lot of resellers don't understand that you're looking for something unique-ish, right? Selling the exact same thing as everybody else is very challenging. That's why with my operation, I'm trying to buy out an entire SKU. So like when a brand is liquidating something, I don't want it to go to 20 different resellers. I want to buy all of it. So I can control the market. I have products now that I liquidate within 1 month and products that I take 1 year to liquidate. And that's not really liquidating. That's holding gross because I control the market. If I release it slowly, I can control the profit margins. If I release it all at one time, I'm doing what just the number is saying, kind of ruining the market because you want to be like De Beers and make diamonds rare, even though they're not, right? It's not. I don't think it's resellers are ruining it. I just think that they're not understanding the importance of having a unique offering. If you're not unique, it's really challenging. Really challenging. Did she ever sell the Laurel piano jacket? I don't know. I haven't asked her. I've talked to Les in a little bit. Maybe I'll check in with her and see how she's doing. But that was the most expensive thrifted find I'd ever seen. I've never thrifted a jacket worth several $1,000s. That was unbelievable. It is so hot today. I don't know where you guys are in America, but in the Bay Area, it's like 92 degrees a day. Vince, I don't know in SoCal if it's a heat wave too, but it is balls hot out here. I don't know why it's so hot. It's October 2nd. If you're listening to this, not live. But it is so hot. Also, this is the first time in 7 years that I have not done morning calls. I've done morning calls since 2017. I haven't done them. And I have, after having two kids, an extra hour is just so much time to me. Like, I feel like a new person. It's so much extra time. And I've only had it 2 days now, yesterday and today. And it was such a tremendous amount of time. I almost feel like it's 25 or 30% more. I'm more productive now because of that extra hour in the morning. And the last couple of days, I was much more helpful with my family because my wife has been taking care of our kids in the morning for an hour for 3.5 years. And now I was able to help. Today, we were out the door earlier. I got to play with my kids a little bit more. My son, who's a year and a half old now, is no longer cute. He is a toddler. It's over. And a lot of people say that once that happens, once your final kid is no longer cute, you want a third. I do not want a third. So I'm good. 3 is plenty. I'm sorry, 2 is plenty. 3, including myself. I do not want another kid. And my son is no longer cute. He's learned to say no and push, and it's just different. He's a person now. He's no longer a cute baby. I think like 9 months to 12 months is the best time to have a baby because they're cute. They're just barely starting to crawl. It's adorable. Now he can talk. He talks back. He says no. It's whole new world now. Yeah. I have a 3-nager, and then I have a 1.5-year-old, and he's just not cute anymore. He's just a person. He's like a full-on adult already. And it's tough. So but I just have I have a true respect for time. I respect time so much. Let's see. I apologize, MM. Yeah. I will update the Patreon if you didn't get that notice. But yeah, the morning call. I'm gonna figure out how to make this call a little bit more organized because I want it to be a full Q&A. But just I can't. I just think now, a full week of my thoughts, you guys are going to get some tremendous insights from me because it's just never really had this much time to think in 7 years. I am doing it Wednesday at 12 Pacific Standard Time. I'll be doing this Q&A as long as I'm a reseller, which is for at least 3 more years because I have a 3-year lease here. Is giving up a YouTube still a thought for you? Yes. After 2 weeks, the last few weeks, I have been spending half of my day sourcing, and it's made me not want to share. It's very weird, to be honest. I cannot believe how much information I'm finding out by sourcing half of my day every day. Like, I feel like even though I've been doing this for 7 years, I don't know anything. After talking to so many different sources now and figuring out where supply comes from, I don't even know what to say. Nothing is rare. Everything that we buy and sell, there's millions of units of it, some sitting somewhere. There's just a few people who control all of these different markets. Like, I don't know. I thought about giving up YouTube many times, but not as much as I have recently because of all this information I'm finding out about how things work and how suppliers are like literally so much supply is controlled by so few people. That's the part that makes me not want to go do YouTube anymore because I just watched it happen. It just got ruined a week ago for all my flea market vendors are out of business because somebody was careless with the way they shared information and now their fishing hole is gone. So like, I don't know. It's been, and if I'm just out here sharing generic information, do people even want to read between the lines? People just want the direct information. And if I'm saying spend half your day sourcing and it will unlock this amazing reseller life, I don't know how many people like paused and wrote that down. If you're not spending half of your time looking for supply, then you're not getting good supply. Um, you either need somebody looking full time or you need to be spending half of your time acquiring the best product. It's the number one thing you can do for your resale business is spend 50% of your time looking for great products. It helps so much when the item sells itself. Um, John says that cute turns into handsome for my little guy. He is so angry when he doesn't get what he wants. I don't know where he learned that from. He's just like so mad if like he's always been like this. He has a different personality than his sister, but like now he can talk. And he's just like says no at the top of his lungs. And it's incredible actually. I'm not even mad. It's like I don't know how you can be that angry when you're that little. Like it's even my daughter is like, whoa. Like he didn't learn it from her. Um yes, John heard too. The local Goodwill wholesaler is donezo. There's no more wholesale boxes. That's it. So I don't know. It's like it was like literally how I sourced for 5 years. So I don't know how that happened. And apparently, John, it's going to Arizona. They're gonna ship all that to Arizona every day in semi trucks. It's crazy. Um I'm so into raising kids. It's really fun. It's just Vince says that they're cute until they're 4. Um I just I told my daughter she peaked at 9 months. She's 3 years old now, 3.5. And dude, in 9 months, they're so cute. But then yeah, I could see how when she gets older, she's not gonna want to hang out with me. I've already seen that. Like, because she goes to school and her friends, she loves hanging out with their friends. I don't know if you can match that as the dad. Like, that's pretty fun playing with a friend that's the same age as you. So um if Arizona and San Francisco Goodwill merged and all that stuff's going down there, that's wild to me. Like, from all my estimates that I've heard, the SF Bay Area gets 20 semi trucks of donations a day. That's, to put that in a reference, that's about 100 pallets a day of donations, right? So that's just going to Arizona. Okay. Oh, John says get your free Disneyland for the kids. All right. Free kids, free. Yeah, it's so close for us. We can drive and I have the minivan. But I'm psyched. This call is also a lot more accessible to a lot of people on the West Coast because for years, my morning call was just people on the East Coast because nobody wants to get up 6 in the morning with me and chat about reselling. But I'm so psyched right now. I've had more and more resellers visit me now that I'm not doing the group. I'm doing the Facebook group with Christine helping me, and it's been really helpful since she's physically here. Helps so much. And she can just ask me a question if she doesn't know the answer. But it's just, I'm loving it. It's so much. There's so much that I know now with reselling that I didn't know when I first started. And the one of the biggest improvements was we just got one of those Amazon paper tape. So now we use the tape that you guys see on your Amazon packages. It's water-based and it's a game changer. It's so fast, it's so quiet, it's so cheap. It's like 1 cent per strip. And the boxes from the post office, we're ordering those by the pallet, and it's been fantastic. John, I'm not gonna go live stream from the flea market, but I loved it. I loved the Alameda flea market. It was so sick. It's so weird that I've been in the game this what I feel like a long time, and I'm still learning so much. There's just so much out there. The only thing frustrating for me as a reseller is when people say they've tried everything and their sales are slow. You haven't tried everything. That's a terrible attitude. Other than that, I love resellers to the core. That's who I am. It's my tribe. It's just I tried everything and sales are too slow. That attitude is such a buzzkill for me because I just feel like I've never done anything that works all the time. It doesn't always work all the time. It only works a little bit, and then you have to try something different. Yeah, my kids are so cool. I really, really, really love having kids. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Um, and now that they both sleep through the night, I'm a new man. I have so much more respect for time and so much more respect for people and parents. And I have respect for people with no kids because like it's different. Like when you have kids, you have a lot of structure built in. When you don't have any kids or don't have a partner, you have to come up with a lot more structure. It's been easier for me since I've been married, since I've had kids, because there's only so many time you can work on your business. Like I've never gotten out of bed so quickly as I have now because I just don't have that much time. So when I wake up, I want to work on my business as much as I can. This morning, I went and bought donuts and I left one on my wife's desk and she found it when she went to work. I can do more stuff like that now because I'm just aware that we're not going to be here very long. So I just want to get as much stuff done as possible. Vince says routine leads to freedom. It's been a lot easier with kids and way easier with being married. Routine has helped me a lot. You guys good? Yes. Backpacks, belts. Oh, backpacks, belts. And the cage. If you're not learning something new every day, you're not trying hard enough. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Right now, we've been getting done earlier and earlier and earlier in the day, and that's also a game changer because things are getting way neater, more organized, more case packed. The shows are doing more money, more profitable, more hourly. Like people are less rested, less injured because like everything is becoming more efficient. We're done early. We have more time to work on other things and routine. So yes, swimmer. I am switching to boxes. It's really hard to do poly bags and not have it destroyed at volume. There's just gonna be. I agree with you. It's hard to find poly millers that will not rip. So we're most likely going to switch 100% to boxes. I've gotten that feedback before. I appreciate you letting me know. I'm really going to work on switching to boxes the best that I can because that way customers have a better experience. It is somewhat wasteful to use a box. I don't know. Is it more wasteful to use a box or a poly miller? Yeah, but I agree with you. Having bundle shipments, especially if they're odd shapes, it's possible the items get damaged. And at this volume, definitely we have. Let me look at my account really quick. So out of the last 15,000 orders, I've had 18 damaged. I'm sorry, 18 plus 32. I've had 56 damaged packages out of the last 15,000. So that's still a lot. That is a lot of damaged orders, but it's not a big percentage of orders. And I actually think that I'm getting pretty close to 5-star rating on all my accounts. I think I just need one more month of what I'm doing right now, and I'll have a 5-star rating. Well, I'm actually turning 40 this year. You know what I want for my 40th birthday? A 5-star rating. I don't even want anything. I really don't like 4.9. Yeah, that's right, Vince. 56 damaged boxes is what was reported, so probably a lot higher than that. What advice do I have for new sellers on whatnot? I just put it on my Instagram. Let me read it to you. Do the best show that you can every single week with the best personality that you have, with the best items you have. Do that show as often as possible. When you get better items, sell better items. When you find a way to connect better, connect better. When you find a way to be more consistent, do that. When you can afford to offer your customer a better deal, give them a better deal. There's only 4,000 people, in my opinion, of my own research, that are consistent on whatnot. To be consistent, all you have to do is make sure that you have a schedule and a plan. And there's hundreds of thousands of sellers, and only 4,000 people can put together one show per week. So very, very few people. Swimmer, Field 40. We're working on 100% boxes. Here, I'll show you. Can you guys see? We're switching to all boxes. I just think that'll greatly reduce the damaged orders. What do you guys think? But the new process is going to be put the item down, put a box over the item to get the right box, flip it over, put a piece of tape on it, put the item in it. Dunnage, steal it. So that's my plan. Yeah. 56 out of 15,000. It's less fun. But yeah. Yeah. It's Field 40. That makes sense. When you overstuff boxes, it's hard. But essentially, what I have to work on is a 12 by 12 by 12 canvas. So the post office doesn't want you shipping boxes over 12 by 12 by 12. So that's essentially the box that we're using. And just try to sell as many as I can to fit in that box. And apparently they're going to do UPS and FedEx. If they add UPS and FedEx, then I'll be able to offer more options for people. And we can switch the boxes. What do I think resellers will do now that everything is going to AZ? I don't know. I feel like all the BS wholesalers are going to have a field day right now. Like they should double their prices because like there's so many people hungry for inventory right now in the Bay Area. And there's so many shady wholesalers. It's the worst part of the business. If you're not buying direct, you are in big trouble because people are creaming. What's that term? Where they take the best stuff off the top. What's that called? It's not cream of the crop. Is it called creaming the crop? What is it called when you take all the best stuff and you give people the garbage? That's what wholesalers do, and they're going to be doing that more now that everybody is starting for inventory. Flea market, garage sale, and estate sales. Here's the thing, though: the flea market's going to be messed up because you can't do it. The flea market's going to be messed up because you can't buy wholesale from the Goodwill. Skimming. Yeah, it's just a challenge. I don't know what Arizona's going to do with semi trucks full of good stuff going to Arizona. I think the world's going to be different. Oh, not the top row. Everyone else? Not the top one. No top. Yeah, not the top row. Variety. Yeah. They'll move the retail arbitrage, maybe. I think so. Guys, I think that retail arbitrage is the okay. Please, everybody, copy what I'm saying so that good or whatnot can blow up. And everybody listening right now, that's the kind of person that just copies without doing any of their own homework. Can you please resell stuff from the Nike outlet on whatnot? That would help everyone so much. If everyone just went to the Nike outlet today, bought 20 items that are 70% off, go on the whatnot, just do high starts, 50% or more, higher, right? And drive all the people looking for discount Nike over to whatnot. That would be much appreciated. You will make money. It's just the Rinzi model. Buy like a really good item for about $20-$25 and sell it for 40 to 50. That model works. It's retail arbitrage and it will help everyone. Yes, Kathy, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Yes, Rinzi does it with North Face and they do it with Nike and Carhartt. But yeah, the paper on the box is, yeah, I can show you guys. So.
I think she ran out of auctions.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she.
How many were there?
Or
There should only be 100.
she's doing 382.
There's a 382 auction.
It's not on there.
Awesome.
No.
Can you add one or do you need me?
I think it's in the.
Okay. That's it. So yeah. That's the taping process. It's been awesome. It has been truly, truly, truly awesome. Let me get this going. Let me add the auction for you guys. Let's see. This. You want me to do it? Okay. Thanks. Let me get it. She ran out?
Yeah.
All right. It's here.
Oh, wait.
Hit the north. 382 luxury clothing. I'll pin it.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Sorry, guys. Lots of people are doing really well with Amazon and retail arbitrage. I agree. Vince says he's surprised Rinzi is telling everybody how they do it. I mean, I hope a lot of people copy Rinzi. Ohio Thrifters does what Rinzi does, and they're killing it. So I just feel like that model works. Or let me ask the chat: how come more people don't do that? Why don't more people? I don't get it. Why don't more people do retail arbitrage? It seems like a really, really clean way of doing it. Cost of goods is too high. Bree says the secret isn't in the method, it's in his personality and work ethic. But the thing is, people in the US don't have a problem with work ethic. Are you saying people in the US have a bad personality? I don't even know if that's true. Not everybody is lazy. I don't believe that. Or do you guys believe that? I don't think the work ethic is the problem. Albert says a lot of people are not trying to work that hard. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people who do want to work hard. Supply is low and it's overpriced. Interesting. I feel like buying 20 things at Goodwill is $100 and they might not sell. I don't know. I feel like retail arbitrage for most beginners is better. You do wholesale and you're running into overpriced goods and low supply. Some people aren't cut out for social selling. That's true. Maybe it's not good for part-time sellers. That makes sense. Flora says some people for sure can be lazy. Yeah. I hope that's not the case. I have a question for y'all. How many of you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Rinzi's last post? They're talking, like they post like how much money they're making or whatnot. Now, I think there's a part of it. This is just from me talking from my own personal experience. There's something kind of missing off of the post from Instagram, which is like the time it takes to sort the inventory into a cohesive situation. Because when he's running the show, he's got a cadence and a way that he has everything set up so that he can go through the show smoothly. That is really hard. Most people are not organized like that, and that takes time and organization skills to make it like that. And that's not on the Instagram post. Let's see, searching is too hard for them. It takes up too much of the time. Well, I still spend half my time looking. Let's see. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I agree. Albert says he knows it takes a lot of time organizing that. I agree. It's super duper duper organized. Operating at I can give you guys some of the lowdown on it. When he's running his auctions, right? You'll see he runs the same thing multiple times in a row. There is so much work behind the scenes to be able to do that. That's the part that I think people don't get it, because he's operating at a pace that's unmatchable if you're selling unique items. Vince says if you lead a whale to water, they'll take over everything. That happened at the Goodwill here, and now that's it. People talked about how good the Goodwill was in Bay Area, and now it's done. Yeah, Albert. I'd be curious because he doesn't spend too much time on stream, 3 or 4 hours on stream. So it wouldn't surprise me if he's spending 4 hours a day organizing, setting it up. Because he's not doing shipping or sourcing, right? He's already set that up. He's just doing the selling and then the brainstorming. So, and the organizing. I would be surprised if somebody else organizes it for him, because then he wouldn't know where it is for the show. You list 3 a day and have 2 weeks of a bank. If I find a great item, is it okay to list 4 or 5 items in a day? 100%. I consider a great item something that you list. It's like your listing goal is just based on your bread and butter. When you find a great item, throw it in there. I don't save great items. Great items go in right away. You need that money to buy more bread and butter items. Okay, so legacy mindset. Let me see. He's selling up to 2,000 items a week, I would guess, at that pace. So up to 2,000 items a week is what it looks like. How many suppliers? 2 people could do it. They full-time source for him. So definitely under 5 people is my guess. I don't know though. I'd say 2 people split up could probably get that many items. I know he has people outsourcing for him. We're just trying to estimate how many people. I would guess 2 to 5 people. Well, Killa, that's interesting because if you have, I sometimes don't. I sometimes share too much, and most of the time I feel like, actually, never mind. I think most of the time I share too much. Like, I really want people to learn how to do this, and I should just be sharing enough information that it gets people into moving. Thank you, Vanessa. Yeah, Albert, it's a lot different when it's just you. Getting a 5-star rating is a lot different when it's just you. Once you start adding people, his margins are 20%. There's a 20% margin. it's kind of interesting because like if you add in overhead like a building and you add in a little bit more people, and the margin starts getting really small. Really small. Like it's not as much profit as people are thinking. Like on a $40 sale, he's making $8, right? Hey Nick, thank you so much for following. Oh, I know Ryan. I know Ryan and Lindsay. They have kids exactly the same age as mine, and I could text them. He would come on the call if I asked him. So I'm not criticizing his work. I'm admiring his work. It's very cool that he's able to do that. I'm just saying that I'm just wondering why more people don't do that. That's my question. Because if you're at home, you have no overhead, and you're doing it by yourself, you can compete with Rinzi, right? I'm gonna stay till 1:30 because I was super late today. So we have 10 more minutes of questions. I'm so psyched, guys. There's so much. There's so many cool things happening in reselling right now. Oh, you're thinking of Legendary. Go ahead.
I got a quick question. I was thinking about this. I don't know if it'll work or not, but what if like a hybrid model on eBay, where like let's say I source a lot of items, in a pallet, some are good, some are not. I was thinking like, what if I do an auction style on eBay, like 5 days, and start them at, $5, kind of like a hybrid of whatnot in eBay on eBay. Like, what do you think about something like that?
That would work.
Okay.
Yeah, it always works. Devin's saying, am I going to Alameda Flea Market this weekend? I don't think so. I think I'm going to sleep in. Legacy is asking about if I looked in the contracts of larger suppliers. Yes. I have a contract with the supplier right now for 4 months of supply. The problem is, I've talked to a lot of wholesalers about what contracts look like. The problem is, once you're contractually bound to somebody, they start giving you garbage because you've already agreed to buy it. So it's challenging. It's challenging. Keep in mind right now there are protests happening at the ports on the East Coast. 100%. Supply is messed up right now. That man, I don't know if it's going to be a situation where I recommend hoarding, but it is really challenging right now.
We ran out of belts here. There's some in the red rolling bins and the Amazon bins. Are those okay to use?
Yep.
Okay.
eBay has live auctions, but it's more better to join. It is more difficult to join eBay live auctions. When does your store hit nirvana with great brands and great prices? Typically, you need about 1 to 200 items in your store per sale, depending on the size of your store. And for me to hit, and it depends on what do you mean by nirvana? Like what time frame, right? A 1 year nirvana time frame is very reasonable. A 1 month time frame means you're probably leaving some money on the table because you're selling stuff so cheap. Bree says people with death piles will finally thrive. So let me tell you guys something. With Rinzi operating at a 20% margin, right? That means when they go to Nike and they buy 5 items, right? Essentially, one of those items is pure profit. But this is the important part. You need to sell all 5 items to get that profit. That's kind of the problem with reselling. People will buy 5 great items, right? And they'll sell 2 of them. And they got most of their money back, but they haven't even broken even yet. They've got 3 items left. Got to sell 1 or 2 to break even, and then the last 2 are the profit. With Rinzi, they're at they're at whatnot nirvana because they're kind of replenishing what they just sold. But there's a challenge with that, of course.
Or we can't on.
Bree says this is the problem with retail arbitrage. You also need to be the first to market or control all stock. Okay, so Breeze, this is interesting. Hopefully you're still listening. I now am buying from the same people who sell to TJ Maxx and Marshalls, right? So I get it. When I get a supply in of something, right, and it's like 10,000 units, if I were to sell to TJ Maxx, they would need me to take out all the bangers and evenly distribute them to all the stores, right? So then what that would mean is, if you drove to all the stores, you would find one or two of these items, right? And that's what retail arbitrage kind of is. You're kind of driving around looking for it. Now that I'm on the other side of it, and I see that, that's why I only want to buy direct because of the that problem. So essentially what you do is you like break even on 80% of it and you get to keep the bangers. That's like what I'm saying. It's just interesting that, like, I think a lot of resellers don't understand. You don't make profit until you sell all of it. I think that's like the biggest misconception with reselling. I'm making money. You've made money, but you're not making money because you haven't sold all of them yet. You know, like when I finally sell through stock, my bank account like grows a lot. But when you're selling all your bank, just some of the stuff, your bank account stays the same. You're currently at 40 listings, 60 sold, listing one a day. I love it. That means you're listing really great items. And that's the kind of store that I would want to operate. Yeah, Rob Glow said that he used to click sell one like this and he had to go and fix that. Sell one like this is very dangerous because you're inheriting all people's bad flaws. You really want to click list an item from scratch and research each thing as you're moving it over one by one. You'll learn the item. Daily payouts for everything. I did monthly payouts on Poshmark when I was trolling people, but not like that. That's not a proper way to use your money. You should get it as soon as possible. I did it so that I could flex the amount, but that is super stupid. So don't copy me. Only do longer payouts if you're trying to flex. Finding suppliers. What is the best way of finding them? Okay, so essentially what I'm doing is I'm spending more time visiting people. So every Thursday I spend the entire day, post office is here, spend the entire day reaching out to new people who are going. Here, 300 active, 240 orders, listing 5 per day. It's a comfortable pace of part-time. That's a fantastic pace. It's kind of like, you know how I just became a dad, so I haven't started the whole grilling thing yet because I feel like being a dad is not boring yet. But when it gets boring, maybe I'll take up barbecue, right? I feel like some people they go straight into like aged steaks right out the get, right? But I'm gonna start with like hamburgers and hot dogs because like I'm not a master grill, master. What is that person called? I'm not a grill master. Not a grill master. What are those people called that are really good at grilling? I'm just gonna start with the basics. If you're just starting with reselling, you want a 300 item store that's full of good stuff. You don't want a huge store, and you don't need a meat locker. You just started. You're trying to migrate some to Amazon. Yes, migrating to Amazon is quite difficult because it's very, very, very competitive. That's why I was saying, like, I'm kind of not in a mood to make YouTube videos right now because I'm not really in that good of a mood because it is very competitive on whatnot. So like, I'm trying not to die is the best explanation because like, there's only so many people on the app and you got to get the best show or nobody goes to it. So I just feel like all my YouTube videos would just be angry if I was making videos right now, because I'm just kind of like in a trying to survive mentality right now. Plus, there's so many people that I have to care for that work for me, and I don't want anybody here losing their job. That would feel horrible. And I feel like if you've not been in a place where like you're really worried about your staff, then you're not an entrepreneur yet. Because like when you are like you realize the gravity of what you do, I feel like your whole mood changes. You're like, okay, we got to really take this seriously. We can't take any shortcuts. When it's just by yourself, a little different. Pressure stick is saying, thinking of switching out RA shoes and moving to thrift for higher margins. I have traditionally made more margin shrinking my business, but I've made more money lowering my margin and increasing the size of my business. So I don't know what to tell you. That's a good question. You want to make more total money or easier money? More total money is not easier, it's harder. Melissa, I'm not going to do the morning calls right now because I want to spend time with my kids. So maybe when they grow a little bit older, I'll do it. But like right now, I love hanging out with my kids so much. So I don't know if I want to like give up an extra half an hour in the morning. The morning call, most of the morning call, they are asleep. But when they wake up, I want to hang out with them. And I don't like, my kids are really enjoying so far not having me at work in the morning. So I'm just going to conceivably do that for a while. I could do another call, but it wouldn't be at that time. I have fast nickel and slow dive. I don't think there's a right way to do it. I think the right answer is both. I have items that I have to wait a whole year to sell. Okay, so Vince is asking about what about margin stream? Okay, so typically I make more total money when my business gets larger, when my margin goes down. There are some scenarios where yes. There are some situations where a bigger business made my margin go up. And I can think of two. Actually, I can think of several. A lot of things actually make my margin go up. One is like the post office comes to pick up now. That made my margin go way up. When I was small, they didn't do that. Now they literally, it's full service. They come here every single day. They come 6 days a week. I have 2 Monday pickups now. So I was trying to schedule a Sunday pickup, but they won't do that. I have Saturday pickup, but no Sunday. Monday they come twice. That's made me more money. My economies of scale when it comes to buying has made me more money. And so okay, less work, cheaper upfront. Let's see. Employees made my margins go down. The warehouse made my margins go up. Storage unit made my margins go down because the warehouse has really high ceilings. So like this is 10,000 square feet, but it's really like 100,000 square feet because actually not 100. It's three levels in most of it. So that's like it's a good 18,000 square feet if you're counting the vertical space. So the warehouse margins went up. Economy shipping has made my margins go up. So the cost of supplies has gone way down now that there's higher volume. I want to believe that I could get a shipping discount that's a little bit more. So maybe that would make my margins go up a little bit. But also like in my rent agreement, I pay more rent every single year that I'm here. The electricity to run this place is a couple $1,000s. I'm not the utilities is a couple $1,000s. I think that's going to go up. I think my staff's going to go up because I got to pay a cost of living increase. So I don't see any other way of surviving other than doing what Dave Ramsey says, which is putting 20 or 30% back in my business, no matter what. It's got to grow. Silver Bushman, how are you? Yeah, Albert. There's a lot. there's a lot of disrespect for customers on whatnot. I think that will change over time. People will lose customers if they don't treat people properly. Janaea says it saves hours per week getting picked up. Yo, it saves. I don't even help them anymore because you guys want to see it? I don't know if you can see this. Can you see these cages? The cages that are outside, I don't know if you guys can see. We moved the cages outside and then they loaded onto the truck. Like when I was at my smaller warehouse, we helped the guy load the truck. That took hours too. So now it's like literally hours savings. Saves a lot of money. How long does it take to revive on eBay store? 1 week. 1 week of consistent listing, your eBay store will turn back on. Currently 7. Let's see. Divided by. I would say this is my guess. In the last 1 calendar year, I've sold 350,000 items on whatnot. That would be my guess. Just based on my last 12 months divided by my average sale price, 350,000 items. As a small seller, do you schedule 3 USPS pickup every time? Yes, there's a recurring way to do it. You can just talk to your post office guy and they'll set up a recurring every weekday and Saturday. Yeah, they can just pick up with your regular mail. Did you guys get the cage from back there?
Yeah.
You did? Was it
The
yeah,
damn one.
the Tommy Copper one?
Quick question.
Yeah.
Are these hard to grab from?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I tipped my postman $100 the other day, and he had never received a tip that big. Am I worried about the port strike thing? I'm not. I'm also not worried about corporations buying up all the housing. I think that's not true. I tried to do my own fact checking. I feel like that's the boogeyman. I don't know if that's actually true. I feel like you can still buy a house. It sounds kind of weird because of where I live, but I still feel like you can buy a house where you live. It's more complicated than before, but the opportunities are out there. The port thing. I do think it will affect things short term. I think in the next couple of months, this might be a weird Q4. And prices on eBay might be a little bit higher than normal. But I don't foresee it being a long-term thing. It was kind of like the chip shortages during COVID. I think just maybe for a month or two, the prices will be higher, then supply will return back to normal. Eventually, people are going to need to get paid. Collective bargaining will happen, and they'll figure out a proper way to pay people. It's kind of interesting because yes, I think the port thing could help the pre-owned market. That's why I feel like the prices might go up because the supply is going to be messed up. I even feel it on whatnot. There are less people selling right now. I think we're good. We're good, everyone. Any more questions? Wow, I learned a lot. Hopefully this is useful. Well, let me know. What do you guys think? Do you want to do this Q&A every week? I do. I want to do this Q&A every week. But I'm feeling like right now is a unique situation where retail companies are doing really poorly. And because they're doing so poorly, there are retail opportunities. So I don't feel like we're in a bad position at all. I can do that. I guess that's fine, right? Here, I'm just gonna. What happens if I do that? I'm gonna leave and leave the warehouse up. No, I'm not. I'm gonna leave. But I have done that before. I will leave the warehouse thing up. So I'll see you guys every single week. forever, and as long as I'm a reseller. And I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for following me for 7 years. I really do resell things. I'm not a reseller that just talks about it but doesn't do it.